You're listening to the Healthy and Thriving Career Mums podcast, where every week you will learn about healthier habits and hacks to create and support a healthy and thriving lifestyle as a busy mum. I'm your host, Wendy, and I truly believe that the best gift you can give to your family and the world is a healthy, thriving you. Let's dive in. Hello, lovely, and welcome to episode 12 of season 3 of the Healthy and Thriving Career Mums podcast. I am so excited to have you here with me today. And as we sit at this point of the year, so you're listening to this, if you're listening in real time, on the 30th of November, because I know that you're subscribed to my podcast. So the minute it comes out on a Wednesday, that alert pings and it goes straight into your podcast app, or you get the email because you signed up to my mailing list. And if you're thinking, what is she talking about? Just go to the show notes. All the links are there. You can do all the things. But essentially, we are sitting at that time of year where we're about to hit silly season. Now, as mums, this is like so much worse for us. I'm sorry, I don't mean to pull the mum card, but honestly, it is the mental load of everything that's going on. I feel like a drill sergeant right now with all the lists, the calendars. I'm like, right, deep breath. Let's go. Let's get through the next 3 weeks until breakup day. And because there's just so many things, it's not just the normal things, which as it is like insane. But we're also dealing with all the Christmas stuff, the nativity shows and the, Christmas jumper days and all the things to remember. I mean, it just becomes a bit of a laughing joke on the school run. Like the mums and I, and the dads, to be fair, I'm not excluding the dads here, are just like, because we're like going nuts with everything. And I mean, we've got a WhatsApp group for the mums, and literally it's just an opportunity to remind each other of all the things that we need to remember. So we really got each other's back. So thank you to all the mums who keep me straight. But this week, for the final episode of season 3. Oh, I know, don't be sad. You've got a whole back catalogue you can listen to while you're waiting for season 4. There's so many episodes. I bet you haven't listened to all of them. But if you have, well done. Go back and listen again. You'll probably get a little nugget that you didn't get the first time. So with that, I wanted to cover off something that is going to, completely help you for silly season ahead, but also set you up forevermore as a busy mum. So one of the things that people always say to me that I find is, Wendy, how do you do it all? How do you get so much done? And there's a couple of things in that. Like, I really pride myself on having a life that is set up with the things that fulfill me, that I want to do. Yes, there's all like the mom jobs and things like that. And as much as I can, I delegate, but that's not always possible. But yeah, I am a person who has always been highly productive, that does achieve a lot with their time, but I'm also extremely intentional about that. So what I'm going to talk you through today is something that I do every single week without fail to set me up for success. And, our definition of success, my definition of success certainly is to not drown and not be just going from week to week, just, floating. I mean, so many people are saying, I can't believe it's the 1st of December. I'm like, I can. I know what they mean by that. They mean like they cannot believe how quickly time is going. And time goes quickly when we're not intentional. We're just getting pulled from week to week, day to day, just basically surviving. And my whole goal with my community is to help you thrive. I don't want you to survive. I love this time of year. I love like the logistics and the juggling it and getting it all done and, fitting it all in and like almost playing like a game with myself to see like how organized can I be? Like, I want to be that mom that sat there on Christmas Eve with her Baileys in hand and, watching a Christmas movie and chilling out and not like frantically trying to wrap last minute presents and things. And I know that's not always possible. And we all are just doing the best that we can do. But I want you to be that mum sat watching Bad Mums on Christmas Eve, the movie, and just feeling like, oh, so sorted. I'm so sorted. So this is something I'm going to teach you for the silly season, but also it's going to stand you in good stead. So if you're listening to this in the future and you're nowhere near Christmas, like treat it for any time of year. This is something that I do. And it's something that came up recently in my recent Thriving Mom coaching program that I do. And that's, I just, something that I think most people do. And that's the thing. It's like, they were like, oh my goodness, this is genius. Like, I'm going to do this. And they've been having such breakthroughs and so much productivity. It's not, the idea is not to get more done, but it's just to obviously be able to free up headspace, mental load, so that you don't always feel like you are just completely, brain dead because you're just so busy. So this is going to save you time, reduce your mental load, help you to take charge and achieve your goals. So this is what I like to call my weekly mum date, my personal weekly review date, because you're the CEO of your mum life. And that's the thing. We have to remind ourselves, like, we're in charge of our time. Like, sometimes when you have to remind your kids, you're like, I'm the parent, I'm in charge. I had to do that last week with my little girl. I was like, I am the parent, I am in charge. But the same applies to your life. And so many of us as mums, our lives are being dictated by everybody else around us and not us. And this is your reminder. You are in charge of your life. You control your diary. So when people say to me, it's one of my biggest bugbears, I don't have time. It's like, my friends know, please don't say that near me, because I'm like, and when I find myself, and sometimes I find myself saying, oh, I don't have time. And then I'm like, say it's not my priority, and see how that fits. So when you're like, I don't have time to sleep, it's not my priority to sleep. I don't have time to exercise. It's not my priority to exercise. I don't have time to eat healthily. It's not my priority to eat healthily. It's like, try switching it to say it's not my priority and see how that sits. And I know that is really like quite a harsh thing, but that's what just gives me a sanity check and makes me go, hang on a minute. Do I actually not have time, or am I not making my time work for me? Am I not making my time work smarter for me? So at the end of this episode, I can promise you that you'll be able to structure your week to fit your mum life, free up your precious time, prioritize your commitments between work, kids, family, and yourself, say goodbye to those revolving lists that cause anxiety, start being able to have time for you, lessen your decision fatigue, and to reduce your overall mental load. Sounds like some huge promises, but I promise you I'm going to show you how to do this. So first up, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to the show notes, and you're going to need to click on the link that is going to take you to downloading my one-page personal weekly review sheet. And this is going to give you everything that you need in order to do your personal weekly review. So you print it off once, you'll have it as a template, and then you can just follow that every week. And it's going to take you through 4 steps to set yourself up for the week ahead. So this is something every week. Now, you could do it at different times each week, but honestly, I'm just going to ask you to carve out 15 minutes. 15 minutes is all I'm going to ask you to do. As you get more experienced at this, you might be able to do it quicker. You might take longer because you want to just spend more time just really thinking about things or journaling down feelings and thoughts. But if you don't have time, 15 minutes is all you need, and you could probably do it quicker. But I'm just saying 15 minutes because that's just like an easy block of time. We can all find 15 minutes. Sometimes I even do this in the bath, like when I'm soaking. So I'm like, have it stuck in there. What we're going to do is I'm going to encourage you to pick a similar time each week, because that does make it like a date in your diary. Say you had a date with your boss, or a date with your, to do something with your kids or your husband or your partner or whatever it is, you have that date set. And if you have that as a recurring appointment set up in your diary every week, it's there, because I believe that which gets scheduled gets done. So that's hugely, hugely important. So make sure that that's scheduled in your diary every week. So I actually do mine on a Saturday morning, and that's strategic because my husband usually takes my daughter to swimming. That's something that he wants to do with her, because I tend to do a lot of the activities during the week naturally, because I've got more flexibility working for myself, and he's obviously got those set hours that he works. So that's how we do it. Yours could be different. Yours could be a Sunday evening. Yours could be a Monday evening. It could be a Wednesday lunchtime at work that you've blocked it in your diary. So you're going to eat your lunch, and then you're going to spend 15 minutes planning the next week ahead. Okay. So that's the first step, is to schedule that time, because that which gets scheduled gets done. This is your weekly appointment, your mum date with yourself, because you are the CEO of your life. This is your personal weekly review. You're going to go through everything for the week. It's your weekly mum planning date with yourself. Okay. First step of the personal weekly review is you are going to celebrate times, come on. Okay. You're going to celebrate yourself because we don't do that enough as mums. We don't celebrate. We always get down on ourselves of all the things that we don't do. We shit all over ourselves. We all over ourselves. You're going to celebrate yourself. What went right this week? And I promise you this, the reason that we do this is we need to get our brains into that positive state, not the, oh, like last week was such a train wreck and nothing went right and negative, negative, negative. And then you're sat there in a negative planning space. We don't want that. We want positive. What's that song? Don't be negative, negative, just be positive, positive. I can't remember. Is that Dr. Album? Can't remember. Anyway, celebrate yourself. Really important, lovely. You deserve it. Celebrate yourself. It could be the smallest of things. Honestly, really. The smaller, the better, in fact. Doesn't need to be the big stuff. We always think celebration comes with the big stuff. Jot down a couple of things there. When you download, you get how to do it on the first page. And the second page is the thing that you're actually going to print and keep. You can keep both. It's great. But then you can have celebrate yourself, fill in some stuff, or just journal it, like keep a little book that you're going to do. You're going to record this stuff in, or your diary, or however it is that you plan. Number 2 is you're going to reflect on your week. So what were my 3 main goals from last week? Now, you might be like, well, if you're starting from a standing start, you're not going to have 3 main goals from last week because you're doing this for the first time. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in the next 2 steps. But reflect back on like, what were my overarching goals for the week? Now you're probably like, Wendy, I definitely have more than 3 goals for the week. Seriously. I'm going to teach you how to break the goals down into those overarching goals. So you have like your core focuses for the week. So for example, this week, my core focus is for business is launching this PWR to help as many mums do this weekly planning review and have this mum date for themselves, because I know how powerful it is. It's helped me so much. It's something I've been doing for years. And I know people that are going through my course are loving it too. So I want as many people. So within that, I've got lots of subtasks, but it's an overarching goal of launch it this week. So I've got to record a podcast, I've got to do social media, I've got to get the emails ready, all that kind of thing. But overarchingly, the goal is launch the PWR. Okay. So thinking about those overarching bigger goals, did I achieve them? If not, why? And this is not an opportunity to then sit and chastise yourself. This is just to have some awareness. It could be like, well, my daughter came down with the flu, or I got sick, or something happened. It's not because you have to sit there and lambaste yourself about it. It's just having that awareness. Okay, well, the reason is because I actually had scheduled too much to do in the week. So I've given myself too many things to do. So it's that awareness to make sure that like, oh, these things are actually taking me longer to do than I realize, or, whatever it is, have that awareness. Number 3, this is the fun part. This is when I just get a piece of paper. This is why I like having a book or a journal, because I actually run an electronic calendar on my phone, which syncs to my desktop, my email, etc. But I love pen and paper because it really helps me get it out of my brain. So 3rd step is to brain dump it all down. So think about all your tasks and projects for the following week. Think about work, like major things coming up for work, personal, family, friends. I've got like a friend's wedding this week. I've got a friend's 40th I need to get a gift for, all the things, cards, presents. Think about meals, and then think about shopping, when you're going to get to the shop, or when you're going to book your delivery slots for. Brain dump it all down, because it's holding this in our brains, which is the thing that's actually causing us the stress. When we can get it out of our heads down on paper, it just frees up so much mental space. So it's brain dumping it all down. And also it's then able to see, gosh, okay, this is all the things I need to do. And then you can start to categorize it, but you need to be honest and realistic. So I'm not going to say, like, say I've got, that time of the month coming up, I've got my period. I'm not going to be like, right, I'm going to go for a 10K run. Well, I know I'm not going to have the energy to do that. So why am I putting that on my plate? Like, it's being realistic and managing expectations. Or you're like, right, this weekend I'm going to blah, 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 blah. But then you've got like loads of things going on, and you've got 3 birthday parties to take kids to and all the things. And it's like, it starts to get us to actually be like, at work, how you need to plan your diary out, what's realistic. You can't be on go mode all the time. You're absolutely going to burn out. So it's like, right, How do I manage this? And then you can work out, right, what is going to have to get deleted? What's going to have to get delegated? What is something that I can do immediately? And these like sort of little quick tasks that build up. And if you've listened to previous episodes, you'll know that I love keeping notes on my phone. I actually use the Microsoft To Do app and it's free. So I've got a little list of like ad hoc tasks. And every time I think of something, I just add it to that ad hoc task list. And then when I come to my block of time in the week that I've got scheduled for ad hoc stuff, that's when I will work my way through that list. So it's things that are not really, really urgent. So that's the other thing. So many of us spend time in a state of complete like firefighting mode, urgent, urgent, urgent all the time. But it's getting us to think strategically in terms of being more strategic with our lives and thinking, how do I plan this? How do I, organize it so that I'm not in this, it's amazing, especially in December time, we've got all our normal mom stuff, but then we've got all the extra mom stuff that we have to do, as I said, like the Christmas shows and the jumper days and all that kind of thing. But somehow we then want to add extra projects into that. Plus, we've got more to do than ever. So actually, we should be looking at our month and thinking, what can I actually take away from this? And if you're like, well, I can't take any of it away, then it's a case of recognizing, well, I'm going to have to ask for a bit of help, or I'm going to have to pay for a bit of help, or I'm going to need to just work really smart and think, well, how am I going to manage my health and well-being in that? Because what inevitably happens when we push, and we're doing so much, we inevitably get that December cold, don't we? And then we break down and we're like, and then it puts us even more off the back foot and causes us more stress. And I know I had a cold in the first week of December last year and it knocked me for 6. And I was like, right, I'm not having that again this year. I'm going to be strategic about that. So I've actually stacked a lot of work that I need to do for December into November. So brain dumping it all allows you to start really seeing how much there is and how much is on your plate. Number 4 is to get clarity of all of that and then to make those commitments. So then it's the actual sitting down, scheduling that in your diary, giving yourself adequate time for things, thinking, right, okay, from that big brain dump, what are those 3 core goals going to be for the coming week? That can be a mix of business and personal. And I really recommend that you have that mix of business and personal and you can even almost do like this little mum date for your work, especially if you have your own business, and then for your personal life. But I like to do them together because I feel like to live is to work and to work is to live, and it all comes together, which is why I believe the whole like let's achieve balance forevermore is such BS, because that's not possible, because you're always going to have this ebb and flow between busy periods of work and busy periods of personal life. And, during the summer, I'm not doing as much work, but I'm in full mum mode. So it's like this ebb and flow all the time. And obviously what we're looking to do is to create that flow, to keep ourselves in that intentional state of really enjoying the process rather than like, oh, I've just got to survive this. I've just got to get to the end of December. Like, that's not living, guys. It's not living to think, how do I get to the end of the week, collapse, and then do it all over again? So it's how we can create that fulfillment. And that's why it is so important to have that mum day and to work out, right, when am I going to schedule my well-being time, whether that's getting to the gym or whether that's going for a walk with a friend or a cuppa or whatever it is that's going to feed your soul, so that you've got that soul time to really restore yourself. And again, coming back to when you say, oh, I don't have time for that. It's like, well, say looking after myself is not my priority, and see how that fits. So as part of that as well, I would have also looked at like meal planning. I've got my meal planner, which I know so many of you love, that download of mine. So again, I'll link to that in the show notes. And it's just really bringing it together holistically. Now, I'm going to go into a lot more detail about this personal weekly review in my Healthy and Thriving Career Moms community. And on my mailing list, I'm going to be breaking down each week, like how you work out like the not important from the important, how you find the time to be more strategic, like more time management strategies and hacks and techniques. So if you're not already a part of those communities or that mailing list, then do jump on, because I'm going to be bringing so much extra stuff that I could be here for hours talking about this subject, but I just want to break it down into those really sort of micro little blasts of information, just to really give you those nuggets to support and help you as you go through this crazy time and then into 2023, because I'm going to help you thrive and not just survive. So go and download your personal weekly review sheets, get that. I've broken it all down how you do it. So I've like filled in a template, which shows you like the 4 steps and what to do. And then I've given you a blank one, which you can then like fill in. And then you can just keep that, have it in your journal, whatever it is, fill that out every week. And then if you haven't already, jump on my mailing list, Wendy's Weekly, where I'm going to be sharing more and breaking more tips. And I'm actually, this month of December specifically, I'm giving moms a lot more hacks for, getting through the December period, thriving, not surviving. And then if you're not a part of my community already, make sure you jump in there, because I'm actually going to be doing a masterclass in there and like really delving into this in a lot more detail. And as I say, going through more time-saving hacks, tips and tools. That's going to be in the second week of December and just really bringing this to life. So yeah. And if you're listening to this in the future, you can still go and do all those things and apply it to your week, to your life every week, and just really set yourself up to thrive and not just get through. Like, be really intentional with your time. It's incredible when you see it and you're intentional and you're organized. You're like, okay. And then you can also see, well, this is too much. This is too much. I have to get rid of stuff. And it just makes those decisions really, really easy, because then when like, this is what I'm focusing on this week, these are my core goals. So then when stuff comes into your diary that you're like, well, do I actually need to do this? Is this going to actually help me achieve my core goals this week? No, it's not. It's a distraction, right? I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to delegate it. I'm going to say no. It helps you. But whereas you don't know what you're dealing with, if you don't know what you don't know, you can't make those decisions. And that's when you get into that analysis paralysis and that stress and all the things. So yes, I hope this has inspired you to take that time for you to do your mum CEO date, to have that personal weekly review, to set yourself up to success, because you absolutely deserve to thrive. I'll speak to you soon, lovely. Thank you so much for joining me for this season. And I can't wait to be back with you for season 4. Take care. Thank you for tuning in today. I am so grateful for you. If this episode has resonated, make sure you visit wendygriffith.co.uk to discover more of my content and my fantastic free resources to support you in thriving. Or if you'd like to continue the conversation further, drop me a DM via Instagram at Wendy Griffith Live Healthy. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep thriving.